Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're breaking down what the source material calls the core growth engine of the Titan ecosystem, the Asset Store. This is the tool they've designed to help you shift from just being a user on the platform to becoming an owner.
So let's set the scene. You've been active on the platform, you've put in the time, and now your wallet has its very first Titan Flow tokens, TFT. This is the moment, right here, that the platform says is a huge fork in the road. It's a choice that's going to define your entire strategy moving forward.
And they frame this choice in a really stark way. Do you cash out those first hard-earned tokens for something small, something temporary, like an ice cream? Or do you take that first bit of value and use it as the first brick to build something way bigger, an empire, as they put it, that can actually start to grow all on its own? To really get our heads around this, we're going to walk through the path the platform lays out. First, we'll talk about the all-important mindset shift. Then, we'll get into the actual assets, your toolkit. We'll see how the engine of growth really works, look at the simple daily ritual it asks of you, and then we'll come right back to that final choice.
Okay, so the whole idea behind the Asset Store, the entire concept, really hangs on this one core idea: changing your role from a worker to a manager of your own little digital enterprise.
And here is that idea, right here: let your capital work for you 24/7. The whole goal is to move away from actively clicking and watching just to earn tokens, and instead move toward owning assets that generate those tokens for you, automatically. Even when you're sleeping or off on vacation. This right here is the fundamental shift in strategy that the Asset Store is supposed to make possible. Instead of trading your time minute by minute for tokens, you use those first tokens to build a system that works for you. You basically switch teams from being a worker on the platform to being a manager of your own assets within it. So what exactly are these assets? Well, the source material calls them virtual mining cards. Let's break down the 3 different tiers you can get in the store. These are, for all intents and purposes, your growth toolkit. The store gives you 3 main choices: Nano, Vector, and Quantum. And you can see a really clear trade-off here, right? The more you put in upfront in TFT and the longer you commit to, the bigger your potential return on investment. It's a pretty classic risk-reward setup. And each of these cards is really designed for a different strategy. The Nano, that's your starter pack, your entry point. The Vector is for when you want more stable, balanced growth. And then you have the Quantum, what the source calls the Königsklasse, a German term that basically means the king's class. That's for people who are playing the long game and want maximum efficiency. But, just owning one of these assets is only the beginning. The real power, at least according to the source material, comes from creating the self-sustaining growth cycle that they call the Titan Loop. So what is the Titan Loop? It's really just a simple reinvestment strategy. Instead of cashing out the earnings your assets make each day, you plow them right back into the system. This creates what they call a Zinseszins effect, a compound interest effect. It's that classic snowball rolling down a hill, turning tiny daily returns into something significant over time. And the process itself follows 4 pretty simple steps. Step 1, you earn your first TFT. Step 2, you buy your first asset, probably a Nano card to start. Step 3, that asset starts generating a daily yield for you automatically. And step 4, this is the most important one, you reinvest those yields to get more powerful cards, which just speeds up the whole cycle. Now, even though a lot of this is automated, it's not a complete set-it-and-forget-it system. It's actually designed to keep you involved through a very simple, required daily action. The source material calls this Gamified Finance. So every single day, you have to log in and actively click the harvest button to claim the earnings your assets have made. It's a small thing, but this gamified element keeps you plugged in. It makes your account's growth a visible daily event that you're a part of. And this is a really crucial point that gets emphasized over and over in the documents. This entire loop, this whole system, is designed so you can start it with 0 money out of your own pocket. The whole thing is built to turn your time and activity on the platform into actual capital. Of course, the source material also includes a very important legal disclaimer. It says the system is BaFin-conform, which means it's structured to comply with Germany's financial regulator. It makes it super clear that TFT is a utility token. It's meant to be used on the platform. It is not a formal financial investment, and there are absolutely no guaranteed profits. Okay, so let's wrap this all up. After digging through all the documentation on the Asset Store, what are the big takeaways you should really walk away with? First, it's presented as this tool for a huge strategic shift from active work to more passive growth. Second, the Titan loop, that idea of reinvesting your daily earnings is the absolute key to making those earnings compound. Third, it's a gamified system built around that daily harvest action that you can start without any cash investment. And finally, the whole goal is to build that imperium from your very first earned tokens. And that brings us right back to where we started, to that original choice. The asset store is framed as the machine that lets you become the manager of your own growth. So the final question the platform really seems to be asking its users is this: are you ready to make that shift?